has more.
This particular victim has not been linked to Heuermann, but the authorities are seeking more of his DNA to try to see if they can connect him to any more of the victims beyond the 3 he's charged with killing.
The dangerous heat dome hovering over Texas for more than a month, leading to at least 36 heat-related deaths this summer. That according to state health officials. Jason Calder is the public information officer in Baytown, Texas, where a couple was recently found dead inside their home this week. He's urging residents to take precautions.
Make sure that if you do go outside, that it's not for a prolonged time.
In California's Death Valley, Furnace Creek logging 17 straight days of temperatures above 120 degrees, the longest streak in nearly a century. The Mega Millions drawing is tonight. The jackpot now $1.35 billion. You're listening to ABC News.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Former New Jersey governor and 2024 Republican presidential candidate Chris Christie making a surprise visit to Ukraine. He met with President Zelensky at his palace in Kyiv, offering support to Ukraine in its war with Russia.
The biggest reason I came here was because I wanted to see it for myself, because then it will best enable me to go home and describe to people in detail the things that I've seen.
Christie toured several hard-hit areas in Ukraine, suffered heavily damage from Russian attacks. It's been 16 years in the making, but America's ban on incandescent light bulbs has finally gone into effect.
First proposed by then-President George W. Bush, the idea of phasing out incandescent bulbs in favor of more efficient fluorescent or LEDs had bipartisan support. Republican Congressman Fred Upton said in 2007,
"We will save American consumers 65 billion kilowatts of energy just because of the light bulb changes."
Within a few years, political disputes scrapped the plan until this week. Manufacturers and retailers will have no more incandescent bulbs when their current supplies run out. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
The world's oceans reached nearly 70 degrees Fahrenheit this week, the hottest temperature ever recorded. The EU's Climate Change Service says the high temperatures are due to climate change. This is ABC News.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 lifeguard protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. Live from Shauna's Suites, Lunchtime Live for KVGC Radio Noontime News right now. Alrighty, folks, a recovered vehicle stolen out of Folsom landed a man behind bars recently. According to the Ione Police, an officer spotted a man running into town from the area of Howard Park. The officer made contact with the suspect, attempting to buy a can of gas at the Chevron gas station, and asked if he could be of assistance. When asked if he wanted a ride back to his vehicle, the man declined. A short time later, the officer located the vehicle parked along Highway 124 and discovered it was stolen. The officer returned to the gas station, and the suspect was still there. The officer attempted to arrest him, but the man fled. He was later captured, and upon contacting the Folsom Police Department, it was discovered the suspect was wanted for robbery and vehicle theft. He was transported to the Amador County Jail and booked for vehicle theft, possession of a stolen property, and resisting arrest. And CAL FIRE Amador El Dorado reports an increase in calls, but a decrease in fires and acres burned compared to this date last year. To the date of August 1st, CAL FIRE AEU has responded to a total of 3,032 calls for service compared to 2,856 calls to date last year. Although the agency has responded to more calls this year, there's been less fires and acres burned to date than last year. In 2022, CAL FIRE AEU responded to 165 fires with 4,752 acres burned, with only 160 fires and only 304 acres burned to date this year. As a full service, all-risk department, CAL FIRE AEU is equipped to respond to a wide range of incidents and emergencies, including wildland and structure fires, vehicle accidents, medical aids, rescues, floods, hazardous material spills, and more. While there's a decrease in the numbers of fires and a significant reduction in acres burned, CAL FIRE says it's crucial that we all remain vigilant and proactive in preventing potential fire hazards. And firefighters responded this afternoon to a vehicle rollover on Highway 12, near Double Springs Road in Valley Springs. One adult male was ejected from the vehicle and transported with major injuries to a trauma center in the valley by air ambulance. The cause of the accident is under investigation by CHP. Now, this was the second accident in 2 days with the same vehicle. The day before, this vehicle was involved in a two-vehicle accident on Nove Way and Highway 26 in downtown Valley Springs. And the Calaveras County Water District is proposing water and wastewater rate changes for all residential and non-residential customers. The CCWD board will consider the rate proposal at a public hearing during its regular meeting on September 13th, 2023 at 1 p.m. Notices were mailed out to all customers 45 days prior to the public hearing in accordance with Proposition 218. CCWD staff will host several community workshops at the following locations to provide information and answer questions. Ebbets Pass on August 14th at 5:30 p.m. at the Ebbets Pass Fire Station. In Copperopolis, August 16th at 5:30 p.m. at the Copperopolis Armory. And in Jenny Lind, August 17th at 5:30 at the Jenny Lind Veterans Hall. And as the summer season begins, an increase in outdoor recreational activities, with an increase in outdoor recreational activities, the Calaveras County Sheriff's Office urges residents to prioritize safety, especially when operating all-terrain vehicles. To ensure a safer and more enjoyable summer, the CSO offers a few essential guidelines for ATV riders and parents. No off-road vehicles for children under 16 years old. Avoid riding double on ATVs. Attend mandatory hands-on safety training course. Wear protective gear and appropriate clothing. And avoid street use and unpaved roads. ATVs are not suitable for use on paved roads. Prohibit nighttime riding. Enhance vehicle visibility. And never drive under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or certain prescription medicines. And the Amador High School FFA will host a campus cleanup for the Amador High School campus on August 11th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. They have painting and yard work cleanup to get done before the start of the new school year. Amador High School FFA invites the community to help. They do have sanding, painting items, and some yard work tools, but if you are willing and have your own tools, please feel free to come out and join them. Any and all help is greatly appreciated, and if you have any questions, please feel free to call or to email Ms. Barajas at saira.barajas@acusd.org, saira.barajas@acusd.org. And sitting down with me now here, I would say in the studios, but we're not in the studios right now. We are at Lunchtime Live from Shauna Sweets in Jackson. I have Kayla Dale. Kayla, how are we doing? Kayla from AFPD, I should mention.
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad now.
It's nice out here.
Super nice out,
Yeah,
right?
this
We
is
haven't
the
done one of
spot.
these in kind of a little while,
I
and it's
know.
nice to kind of get a little change from out in that little studio,
No
you know?
kidding,
but-
and delicious sweets. I mean, I haven't
Super
eaten
good.
lunch, but I had cake.
Of course. Hey, you know, that is lunch, right?
Yeah.
That's all part of it. That's all part of it.
Yeah, no kidding.
All righty, Kayla. So you have someone here with us to introduce,
I
correct?
do, yeah. I'll give a quick brief rundown. Amador Fire for the last month, the month of July, we ran 216 calls. And we have a lot going on. We've talked in the studio about our benefit assessment. That did pass. Very excited. But more so what I want to talk about today is our new prevention officer. So we have Ashley here with us, and I'll let her introduce herself. But what I want to hit home on is the prevention officer role within Amador Fire specifically, but more so prevention in fire departments across the nation and how important it really is. I think we've talked a lot about roles that the fire department runs and traffic accidents that we run and house fires and stuff, but I think a lot of people don't realize the importance of the Prevention Bureau and how pivotal of a role it plays, from building plan checks and inspections that they do and making sure smoke alarms are good and all the things that go with that. And the primary goal of prevention and fire safety efforts is to protect the building occupants and injury, to also prevent loss of life. And then you also want to protect, property damage. And that's what these prevention officers are doing, is making sure those buildings are up to code, their plans are up to par and, present standards, and just making sure that we have everything in a row to helpfully prevent loss of life and damage. So Ashley is our new prevention officer. She is a local person, which is huge for us.
Oh, yeah.
And she has years of experience in the fire service. So when we connect local and experience already, and then somebody who's young and excited to dive into this world and be dedicated, like that's a force.
It's the win-win-win.
It really
it's the win
is.
All the way around.
And Amador Fire, we're so excited to have her. So I'll let Ashley introduce herself, but I just really wanted to hit home that this is very exciting for us.
For sure. Thank you, Kayla. Ashley.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Ashley Anaya. My husband of 12 years, and I have lived in Amador County for a little over 10 years. We have 4 kids, and we decided to settle down and raise them here.
Good place to do that.
It is a good place to do that. We love the community. We have gained so many people that started as friends and now are family to us, and the community means a huge deal to us. My husband is an Amador Fire engineer as well.
Okay.
So we have a big heartbeat for not only the community but the agency as a whole.
Right on, right on. Looking forward to this position too. I know that this is going to be a pretty big undertaking, that the prevention side of it, as you say, is so very important. There's so many things that go into the steps of, preventing, incident, whether it be, fire related around the house, or even just anywhere in general around your property too. So
yeah, this position comes with a lot of responsibility, but like I told them this morning, that if I do my job properly, the suppression guys get really bored when it comes to fire. They don't have a whole lot of work to do if I do my job properly. Right. So that's my goal, is to keep them nice and bored.
Perfect. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Well, right on, Ashley. It was very nice to meet you, Kayla. Always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else you guys want to finish off with?
No, earlier some people asked where they would go to get some prevention tips or questions, or if they had more questions. You can always visit us at the county admin building. And then also we just launched a brand new website last Friday, so we're really excited about that. All your prevention tips, evacuation checklist, valuable document checklist is on there. So I encourage people to check that out, just because it's brand new, filled with information with upcoming fire season.
Perfect.
Cool.
Right on.
Thank you.
Ashley, nice to meet you.
Nice
Kayla,
to
great
meet
to see
you.
you.
Yeah.
And we'll be back with our next set of guests right after this.
As a business owner, you rely on your phone and internet for everything. How is that working these days? Missed calls, buttons don't work, internet crashes? A new phone system would be great, but expensive. Consider the hosted solution from Utility Telecom. Partnering with Volcano Vision, we can provide the newest in telephone technology, coupled with a rock-solid fiber internet connection and very attractive pricing. So get rid of your old phone system and join Utility hosted in the cloud today. Call us at 257-2020. That's 257-2020.
When we gather with family and friends, especially those who live far away or whose time may be limited due to disease or illness, it's cherished. Hospice of Amador and Calaveras County would like to remind you that hospice care can bring peace, comfort, and relief to those nearing the end of their lives, but not just in the final days. Helping a family member who has a life-limiting illness find hospice care often makes the difference between days and months of comfort. For more information, give Hospice of Amador and Calaveras a call. 209-223-5500. And before we head back out to Joey, let's take a quick look at the weather forecast today, brought to us by our good friends at Interfaith Food Bank, Utility Telecom, and Hospice of Amador and Calaveras, our sponsor of our local news today. Weather forecast, we are looking at sunny skies to continue right on through the weekend. We're currently sitting at 81 degrees, shooting for a high today of about 90. Tomorrow, look for the mid-90s and then triple digits on Sunday and Monday. Not too bad, about 100 to 101. And then cooling down just a bit. We're going to see temperatures in the upper 80s to the low 90s right on through most of next week. Again, currently 91 degrees outside the KVGC studios. Taking a quick look at traffic today. No accidents, no slowdowns, no delays. We do have crews working Highway 26 up around the Macaulay River Bridge by Viaduct Road. That's been going on for some time now. Also, a little warning for you. If you are going to the airport in the evenings, remember there is road work. We went to the airport yesterday to pick up a family member last night, and it is just bumper to bumper on Highway 50 from about Watt Avenue all the way to the exchange there to Reno and to San Francisco. So, again, about 3-4 miles of nothing but bumper to bumper. So remember that. Take an alternate route if you can, if you go into the Sacramento International Airport after evening, because that's when they start working on the roads there. So anyway, quick look at that. We'll be back. Joey's got more guests live from Shauna's Suites celebrating her first anniversary in just a moment. Working to eliminate hunger and its causes, the Interfaith Food Bank serves as a local distribution center with 15 satellite locations throughout Amador County, including Ione, Lake Comanche, Pine Grove, Pioneer, River Pines, and a site in Plymouth serving the community's Spanish-speaking population. Thanks to the extremely generous community, the Interfaith Food Bank has been able to supply an average of 60 families daily with enough food for 5 days. Remember, nobody should have to face the day hungry. Community matters. That's why Volcano Communications Group takes pride in offering the best services and the best customer service, keeping up the same hometown values they started with. Call Volcano Communications Group to see if you're in their service area for phone, internet, and cable TV. Call 1-209-296-7502 to get a local service and get the best. They're here to help you in keeping connected to what matters most. That's 1-209-296-7502.
From the doctor who helps you feel understood to the one who helps you feel seen. From care you'd expect to treatments you wouldn't. From taking care of you so you can get better to taking preventive measures so you stay that way. At Sutter, we don't just help our patients, we hear them. It's knowing you have someone looking after your whole health. It's 1,000 things, big and small. Sutter Health.
And we are back live from Shauna Suites, Lunchtime Live for KVGC. Shauna Suites in Jackson here. With me right now, I have the Amador County Unified School District's Consolidated Athletic Director, right? The Consolidated Athletic Director, is that correct?
That's one of my titles, yes.
One of the titles, yes. One of the titles. Scott Hunkins is here with me today. Scott, how are we doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, of course. So I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Because questions have come up. So the schools have just released the home game schedules, and there is the only way to get tickets now is through GoFan. Is that correct?
As of right now, that's how Argonaut's doing it.
Okay.
And it's something we started last year with volleyball, and we ran it through basketball season, soccer.
Okay.
And it's just a way to secure everything, make things simple for everybody, helps the school out tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were sort of forced to do it back in our playoff run.
Right.
A couple years back, where the sections said, this is how we do business now.
Okay.
It was tough for us because Amador County and cell signals is not always smooth and easy. But
right.
After that state game we hosted, I ran into Dan Adam, who works for AT&T, and he says, "God, we got to fix this."
Yeah.
And so, hats off to AT&T. They came in and they helped us. So now if you go to the Argonaut track, You can call somebody.
Plenty of
anytime you
service
want.
down there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice. And so GoFan, it just makes life so much better for us. We think it's convenient for the public. We know it takes some getting used to.
Sure.
And last year we learned a lot of lessons about how to help and make it smoother for everybody.
Sure.
And so we think this year it's going to be it's pretty seamless, and it's going to be for any home game at Argonaut High School this year. It's going to be GoFan.
Okay, so question for you. So I know for GoFan I'm going to be able to buy my tickets beforehand, but say we get to the school. Say we get I'm lined up in the line of cars right outside the stadium. Is there a way for us to buy tickets there right then and there? I mean, now that we have service, it makes it a lot easier, but will there be a kiosk that you guys will have out front for that?
With GoFan, you can set the time when tickets can be bought.
Okay.
So we usually set it for about an hour, depends on the sport.
Sure.
For about an hour after the game starts.
Okay.
So that, because we play JV back, JV and varsity double
Right.
headers, right? So they could be standing in line and they could buy the ticket, and then 10 seconds later be led into the game.
Okay.
No problems, no questions asked. So we love it. We love the convenience of it all.
Right. And it seems like it does make it a lot easier to just kind of, to use the term, to consolidate it all into one little source.
Right. And with football specifically, right? You come in and you're in your car. You're trying to make change, and it gets the line back up to the courthouse.
Right.
So now it's just click a couple buttons, and they're in.
And so all you do now is, I've bought my tickets. I've got my car full of kitties.
Yep.
I roll up to the game. All I do is show my phone. Do they have to scan it?
There's an app or there's an email, either app or email, whichever works for that person.
Okay.
And you call it up, and then there's a redeem button on it. And we tell people don't touch the redeem button until you get to the gate, and then one of the gatekeepers will do the things for you. Because once you redeem it, it's gone.
It's gone. Okay.
So that's how we work. It worked great for us, and so we're assuming it's going to keep doing that for us. So it's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky to have that technology. The 21st century.
For sure.
Here we come.
There we go. I know, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. We're coming into it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, for sure. Well, all righty, Scott. Got a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
What would you say the state of athletics for the Amador County Unified School District is right now? Doing pretty well?
Amador County Unified School District athletics are amazing. They are just rocking. We got some amazing kids, great kids. I mean, kids that just are quality people.
Yeah.
And they're led by quality adults who are their coaches, and that is across the board. Whether it's the 5th grade team at Plymouth or the varsity team at Amador, we are so fortunate to have the people who value athletics and value hard work. It's it's refreshing to see those people even in practice. Just the smiles that they have and how they learn together. It's just great.
Right.
Really great. And we always expect to win. Our job every day is to win.
Oh, yeah.
And so when we go to a game, we have the best coaches and the best players, and our job is to go out there and represent Amador County, win the game with hard work and commitment and all the things you want from your all strong character traits we want from everybody. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing that I can say too, I can personally attest to, is that there's a lot of training that goes into it as well. It's not just some random guy off the street. I mean, there is, classes that these coaches have to take, lots of forms they have to sign. These are, quality individuals that are putting in the time outside of just, just outside of the coaching too, just outside of knowing the sport. There's a lot that goes into it as well.
Right.
So.
And one of the things you'll hear us talk about where there are student athletes.
Right.
And we're involved in educational-based athletics because we believe that lessons can be learned anywhere. They are learned in your English class, but they're learned on the practice field. They're learned during the games. And so we think everything we do is to make our students the best they can be when they leave here and go to their next chapter of their life.
Right.
And we want all our kids to be successful in every aspect of everything they do.
For sure.
That's our focus. That's what but we want to win still. We're not gonna lie.
No, yeah.
We do want to win. So yeah.
For sure.
So it's really good.
Then my last question for you, Scott. Last question for you. So who is your favorite JV football coach at Argonaut High School?
Currently?
Currently.
Or all time?
Oh, you could do all time, but currently.
So I must say that
I could refine it more.
In the top,
who is your favorite JV head coach?
Current
football.
Who's my
Argonaut?
favorite current head JV Argonaut football coach? So that narrows it down to one guy.
What a guy he is,
what
too.
A guy.
He's great.
He is just top notch all the time. And very out. I will say this for my partner here, Mr. Guidi. He is one of the most enthusiastic coaches we have. He wants to do what's right all the time, and and he's not afraid to ask questions. He wants knowledge, and it's refreshing to have a guy like Joey on our staff. And so, Joey, thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Scott.
And then, so it's
well,
cool.
right on.
It's cool.
Well, for
One
sure.
thing I do want to mention out too, I want to give a shout out to the Amador football team.
Yeah.
They went through some stuff last year, and they are rising from that. And it is great. I've been to practice a couple times. I've talked to Coach Kantak, and I see those kids out there working with coaches, and it's just that it could have been gone sideways real easy. And they said, hey, we're going to grow and get better, and they've done that, and it's a blessing to see something like that happen in our county. And it's just that's what you expect from us, right?
Exactly.
You know, we're always trying to get better, and
the resiliency.
One moment in time doesn't define us.
Right.
And it's just really, really assuring to see those kids out there working.
I was able to talk with Christian Santinelli a little bit over at the fair about that too, and he said that, you know, the attitude for the kids has just been so good. You know, like we talk about the resiliency of this county and the resiliency of these students, they really have bounced back from it, and it's been all focus, all football, you know, everything just trying to get better, and it's really good to hear.
Yeah,
so.
It's good to hear, and I really appreciate what Coach Kantak's doing with those guys, and Coach Kegel's helping them out. And those are really good men and doing some really good things. So shout out to those guys.
For sure. Well, thank you, Scott. Really appreciate you sitting
My
down with
pleasure,
us.
sir. Yep,
All righty.
anytime, bud.
All righty, we'll be back with our next guests right after this.
Papa Murphy's is rolling out yet another tasty treat to pair with your pizza, calzones.
Tell me more.
We make them with scratch-made dough that's hand-braided and filled with your favorite fresh ingredients.
So what's my part in this?
Well, we prepare them, then you take and bake them to hot golden perfection in your oven. It's a great way to change up your pizza night.
Sounds like a delicious partnership. You've got yourself a deal.
Thought you'd like that. Get your hands on a calzone today at papamurphys.com.
Beat the heat this summer and head up country to Plaza's Resort on Silver Lake. Soak in the breathtaking beauty and quiet serenity of California's High Sierra. You can enjoy fishing, water sports, camping, the restaurant and bar, live music, horseshoe pits, bocce ball, and the list goes on. Plaza's Resort is the place to be this summer. Visit them online at plazasresort.com. Make your reservations today by calling 258-8814.
All righty, we are live here from Shauna Sweets Lunchtime Live for KVGC. With me right now, we have our good friend from the Volcano Theater Company, Roxanne Fawcett. Roxanne, how are we doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Oh, just another day in paradise. You know what? It's been beautiful weather right underneath this little awning here. It's a good little breeze going. There's been a good atmosphere. A lot of people out in the crowd right now, so it's been cool. It's been a lot of fun.
Nice.
For sure. All righty, so you're here for the Volcano Theater Company.
Yes, I am.
We have two shows that we're going to talk about real quick. We'll talk about our first one, and then we'll go into our second show, which you'll be directing. Correct? You're going to be directing that second one.
Yes, I am super excited about that.
Oh, yeah. So, first show that we have.
Okay,
What's
the first show
we've
coming
got?
up is Blythe Spirit. This was done 50 seasons ago in our very first season, and we're bringing it back this year as our 50th year to do it one more time. It is a story about a successful writer who wants to learn more about the occult. So he brings in a medium, and they have a seance, and she conjures up his dead wife.
Oh, wow.
He's currently married to another wife, and the dead wife is trying to put some issues into their marriage. So it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fun.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I know that, of course, this is the 50th season of the Volcano Theater Company. So before it was The Prisoner of 2nd Avenue.
Correct.
That was the first show of the season.
Yep. And that was the first show that they ever did.
Right, right. Which was also, that was really funny. That was a good show.
Yes.
Very fun to be a part of that one,
Yes.
too. So Blythe Spirit, and that's going to be running from
September 15th to October 15th in the Cobblestone.
In the Cobblestone.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. And now, for the second show of the Volcano Theater Company for our winter production.
Dun, dun, dun.
With the director of the winter production here, Roxanne Fawcett. Roxanne, tell us a little bit about this winter show.
I can't even talk about it without laughing because it's so funny. It's called Dashing Through the Snow.
Okay.
The Snow is the Snowflake Inn
Okay.
in Tinsel, Texas.
Tinsel, Texas.
Where it's Christmas 365 days a year.
There we go.
So the innkeeper, we see her pretty much throughout the whole show. She starts out as a very accommodating person, and by the end, she's kind of crazy and she's carrying a shotgun trying to shoot one of her guests.
Texas.
So, pretty fun. But each scene is its own story contained within the scene. So, there is an opportunity, and we'll talk about auditions coming up this weekend. There is an opportunity for, in some cases, for people to do one part in the first act and a different part in the second act if they're interested in doing that. So I need 11 women.
Okay.
So all you women out there of an age to be the middle age range, I'm looking for a lot of women. I need 11 and I need 4 men. But because we can maybe do people in different acts, you know, we may not need 11 women. So we'll depend
But it'd
on
be
that.
good to have,
it'd be nice to have that.
11 actresses, we're down for that.
Yes. So the characters are characters in themselves. For those of people that might be out there that want to try their hand at theater but are a little afraid of being on stage, we actually have a male and a female part that are voice only off stage.
Okay.
So that gives people an opportunity to kind of get involved without being on stage if they're very fearful of that.
Sure.
So I'm excited about that opportunity. But then we also have an elf. We have Mrs. Claus. And I can't tell you too much about them, except they really are the elf and Mrs. Claus.
Okay.
That's in the first scene. In the second scene, we have a brother and sister that are trying to get their 80-year-old aunts to speak after 35 years.
Okay.
And that doesn't go very well for them. And then in the next act, the first scene of the second act, we have some actors that are trying to scatter some ashes on the property without the innkeeper's knowledge.
Okay.
And so there may or may not be a dustbuster involved. And then the final scene is a wedding scene. It's your typical wedding where the bride is getting married for the 6th time. And there may or may not be some silly costumes that the bridesmaids have to wear. There's a lot of opportunities for a lot of people to have just a lot of fun.
Cool.
And the auditions are coming up this weekend.
Cool. So what are the auditions? And these are open auditions, open casting call?
Absolutely. Open auditions. We want everyone to come. I want everyone to come. They will be this Sunday, August 6th at 2 o'clock in the Cobblestone Theater in Volcano.
Okay.
And on Monday evening, August 7th at 6:30, also in the Cobblestone Theater.
Great. And if anybody had any questions about this, a good way to get a hold of you would be?
They can email me or call me. My phone number is 650-218-5595. And my email address is ganglia, that's GANGLIA, at packbell.net.
Packbell.
Yeah, it's an
right
oldie.
On.
It's an old
oh, yeah.
one.
You know, that's always, it's funny. Growing up, we always knew the Giant Stadium. Before now it's Oracle, then it was AT&T, but before that it was Pac Bell Park.
Yes.
I still call it Pac Bell Park every once in a while. I'm like, oh, Pac Bell, and it's like, wait a minute.
Now you'll think of me when
yeah,
you
there
say
go.
it.
Alrighty, well, Roxanne, thank you for stopping by. Again, those open auditions are going to be on the 6th, which is Sunday at 2 p.m. over at the Cobblestone, Monday the 7th at 6:30 over at the Cobblestone. Again, that's going to be for Dashing Through the Snow. And then again, we have Blythe Spirit is going to be performed running from September 15th to October 15th over at the Cobblestone Volcano Theater Company. Roxanne, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. It's been a wonderful experience.
Alrighty. We'll be back with our next guest right after this.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hi, I'm Jeff Vota, your local farmer's agent. Give me a call at 223-0111.
Discover the perfect blend of history, culture, libations, and food. Saturday, August 26th. It's Vines and Steins at the Preston Castle. Celebrate the sunset of summer by sampling local wines, brews, and ciders from talented wineries, microbreweries, and cider houses from around Amador County, Northern California, and Oregon. Your $40 ticket includes a self-guided tour of the non-restricted areas of the castle, a commemorative glass, hors d'oeuvres, live music on the patio, and food trucks will be on site. The event runs from 4 to 7 p.m. and is strictly 21 and over. Tickets are limited and should be purchased in advance online at PrestonCastle.org. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a beer aficionado, a cider fan, foodie, or simply want to have a great afternoon with friends, don't miss your chance to be part of Vines and Steins Saturday, August 26th at Preston Castle.
And we are live. Yeah, I just heard Coach Davis over there yelling for I think John Adair's over there. Coach Adair. Sorry, Coach Adair. It's funny because I actually coached. So I was coached by both of them, and then had the opportunity to coach with them. So it's weird because I still can't call him Keith, can't call him John. It's, hey, Coach, you know.
I'll give you a good segue. They're both volunteers at the Kennedy Mine.
They're both volunteers at the Kennedy Mine, which is why we are here right now, Lunchtime Live at Shauna Suites for KVGC right now. I am here with Linda Gonzalez and Lucy Hackett here for the Kennedy Mine. Got a little bit of information about the Kennedy Mine for us?
And a special dinner that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Special dinner that's coming up in a couple weeks.
Special.
Right on. Linda, what you got for us?
Well, it's called Over Jackson at Dusk, and it's celebrating the restoration of the head frame.
Okay.
Over the last 2 years, it's been 2 years now, we've been working to replace the decking on the head frame, and it's become quite an extensive job.
It's beautiful job.
Oh, it's really cool.
Really nice.
So it will be in place, and we'll be serving dinner on the deck there. Taste will be catering it.
Oh, wow.
And then Rombar is providing wine for every table, and we're hoping to have a group there to celebrate the great new view it has.
And to kick off the second phase of the head frame restoration, I don't know, folks may not realize, some people haven't even been to the Kennedy Mine property, but the Kennedy Mine has the most visitors. It's the iconic symbol of Amador County. It's a historic. It's our big historic attraction.
Right.
School kids come all year, all summer, all in the middle of the week. People come and visit on the weekends. So it's really important that it remains standing to all of us.
Definitely.
And that's the plan for this special dinner, is to thank the folks that have worked and raised money on the first phase, and start to raise money to pay for the second phase of work.
And when is this dinner? I don't know if we mentioned when this dinner actually is.
August 19th. Saturday.
So August 19th, Saturday
at the Kennedy Mine.
5 p.m.
Oh, it's
at
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay.
The
6
gates
p.m.
open at 5.
Yeah,
gotcha.
right.
So gates are open at 5. It's on August 19th. It's a Saturday. It, of course, is going to be at the beautiful historic Kennedy Mine in Jackson now, technically, right?
Not yet.
Not quite.
Yet. Almost.
Very close. Very
Just
close
outside
to
of Jackson, but almost in Jackson.
And so Tracy Berkner, of course, the owner of Taste, is bringing her giant paella pan. It's a huge paella pan that will fix enough for 100 people, which is our expected guest list. They'll fix that chicken and sausage and vegetable paella in front of everybody to watch.
That's super cool.
So yeah, super fun. And we have Adam Gottstein and Joe Bellamy's Two for the Road coming to entertain. We'll have wine on the tables, and it's going to be a very nice evening in August.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the second phase involves the second level up on the Kennedy Mine head frame. There's 3 levels of the head frame. And so the work for that will be replacing the deck and rebuilding the scroll work where the skips would have tipped the rock into the bins and everything. So it's going to be an extensive project too, and that's what we're hoping to kick off the funds for that.
And so when we say 3 levels, the base, so like the floor where they would have walked on, gone down, then the second one where they dropped the ore, and the third one up where
the second one was actually the waste rock.
Okay.
And then the third level, just above that, there's the gold, and then the very top is the wheelhouse where the big wheels are that had the hoist.
That had the hoist ropes. We were talking about the rope that went down to the mine is almost 5,000 feet deep.
Right.
So, and the rope was obviously twice that, so to almost 2 miles of it's cable, it's not rope.
Sure.
Almost
Metal
two
rope.
Metal rope, and it's almost 2 miles long, and probably weighed.
Well, it weighed about 2.5 pounds per foot.
Okay.
So times 10,000 feet.
Heavy.
And then if you add a skip onto that, that's another 6,000 pounds. And then
Right.
if you put something in that skip, so it was quite a sturdy structure.
Right. And you figure that was, that was built in
1928.
1928. Yeah.
And how long did that one? So that one was built in 28 because the first couple burnt down, right?
The first one burned down that was designed by Mr. Garbarini.
Gotcha.
And it burned in 28, and they were already building the steel one around it.
Oh, okay.
But the steel was compromised, so they took it all down and started over.
Gotcha.
They originally had started to build the steel one around it, so it would have limited time that the mine would be closed.
Gotcha.
And then it closed in 1942 with the World War II closing all the gold mines.
Gotcha. And so, and then the skip house, like where the operator would have been, would have been across the way, right? It's all
the hoist
torn.
operator would have been way back against the hill on the other side,
where the big
cement
things
foundation.
are. That
And then there'd have been somebody all the way down in the bottom of the hole, right?
There would have been people at multiple levels to ring the bells to let the hoist operator know what was coming up or where they were and everything like that.
Gotcha. What a wild job that
No
would have
cell
been, right?
phones. They
No,
have a bell.
Just bells, right?
Bell signals, and very complicated bell signals.
It's such fascinating history, and the folks, the volunteers, people should know everything that happens at the Kennedy Mine virtually is volunteer work. There's a bunch of volunteers who do all kinds of interesting things, including, the historical interpretation. So if you haven't been out there, the change house has been all redone.
Yeah.
There's a new mine tunnel. There's this work on the head frame. The property's improved. There's music events out there on the lawn. They're really beautiful.
And we have a wonderful 2.5 mile to 3 mile trail to walk around the property.
A walking trail. You take your kids or dogs or whatever, walk on the trail. And it's free to enter. There's no admission unless you want a guided tour.
Well, in the past few years, I've spent quite a significant amount of time there. Been kind of in and around. Yeah, I've been there once or twice. And it's always really fun because I always feel like, and I mean, I've been going there since I was a little kid. And even still to this day, I feel like I discover something new every time I go there. There's always something new to see, always something to, oh, hey, I didn't see this little part. Oh, hey, what's this little thing? So, and I finally got to walk the trails. I was never allowed to walk the trails before because my parents were like, oh, no, don't walk around the trails. But now
they knew you. They knew you well, Joey.
I would run off.
We need to see Joey. Keep your eye on Joey all the time.
I'd have been a runner. So having Christian and I have gone back on the trails and stuff, and it's so cool because they all interconnect back into
and you have
the
interesting
same
views of
spots
other parts of Jackson
that you wouldn't normally get to see.
You don't see
so
anywhere
it's
else,
really, really cool out there. If you haven't been out there, folks, got to make the trip out there. It's a good little weekend spot. When is the mine open for tours?
The mine's open for tours on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
From 10 to 3, and then on Monday holidays, and then by appointment for private tours.
Gotcha. And then you have schools kind of all throughout the year, any given time.
School book, yeah.
I just booked one before I came over here.
Oh, there you
for
go.
A school from Sebastopol.
Oh, wow. A little bit of a hike down here for that.
Well,
That's
they'll
pretty
come
cool.
and stay at Indian Grinding Rock, and this will be one of the things while they're in the county.
Cool.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few schools that do that.
Well, good. Right on.
Now, we do have only a couple of tables left for this fancy dinner.
Sure.
And we want to let folks know you should go online and buy them right away at KennedyGoldMine.com. Or call the mine number and leave a message if nobody picks up. We will be closing that in the next week or so, probably. So it's $150 per person.
Okay.
The tickets are, again, at KennedyGoldMine.com. And I think we're going to have a really beautiful evening.
Like it's going to be wonderful.
Well, awesome. And so, again, that's KennedyGoldMine.com. Or go ahead and give the mine a call. What is the number for the mine?
209-223-9542.
9542. Okay, perfect. Anything else you guys got new over at the Kennedy Gold Mine?
We moved our log wagon outside, and it has a new shed, so it's in the area where the original sawmill would have been. And we have a gentleman, one of our volunteers, is hoping this winter to move the old sawmill equipment and make a display in that area so you can see where the sawmill was.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, people might not realize how much milling, how much woodwork had to be done to shore up the mine. So they had their own sawmill. Yeah, bring the logs in and cut them, I guess, however they need them.
The log deck would have looked much like what used to be in Martell. I mean, the stacks of logs that high.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Linda, Lucy, great
Thanks.
to see you folks.
Great to see you.
Yeah.
We'll see you at the mine.
I'll see you at the mine. Alrighty. We'll be back with John actually right here. We're going to go straight into John Williamson from the Amador Community Foundation. I was going to throw it back to the station, but why don't we just keep it here? John, my man, how we doing, brother?
What's up, bud? It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too. How's everything been?
Everything's great.
Busy summer.
Yeah, I love busy summers.
Oh, yeah. That's always nice. You know, it's one of the cool things about the county is if you are bored on a weekend here in Amador County, if you're even bored on a weekday here in the county, you want to be bored. You're not looking for something to do, right?
Yeah, there's always something to do. I love it. I love all the fundraiser events throughout the year, too. That's like the best thing to do. The fair was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
How'd that go for you guys? You guys like the fair?
Yeah, I worked the beer booth for the Lions Club from 5 to midnight. It was a long shift.
That's a
but
tough one.
It's always entertaining. That's
for
sure. Always entertaining.
Well, right on.
So, yeah,
so
we went through 125 kegs for the Lions Club.
Whoa.
125. That's crazy, huh?
Busy fair then. Busy fair.
Yeah.
Thirsty fair.
Wasn't even a record either.
No.
No.
Oh,
It was a down year. 125.
There we go. All right, John, here for the Amador Community Foundation. What you got going on?
The biggest thing we have going on is our open grant cycle. So we're trying to give away $25,000. We're going to do this through a max of $2,000 per grant. So we're trying to spread out the wealth. But basically, it's open to all nonprofits that are 501c3s and the local schools. So please spread the word. Let the local 501c3s know about it, and the local schools that we're giving away $25,000 at the Amador Community Foundation. Again, $2,000 max. The deadline is August 31st to apply for that. The grant application's on our website, amadorcommunityfoundation.org. It's a simple grant application. If you've ever filled out grants before, you might be like, oh, we might need a grant writer or something. You don't need a grant writer for these for this application. It's very simple. Just fill out all the information you have. If you don't have some of the information for some of the questions, just tell us that. We're not going to make it difficult on you. We're honestly just trying to give this money away. So yeah, go ahead and apply. It's great too because the Jackson Rancheria has a fund for community grants, and this is where the money's actually coming from. So the fund is held at the Amador Community Foundation. It's just the Rancheria. Actually, the employees of the Rancheria put money in like every month out of their paychecks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is great, so that they get a little tax-deductible donation out of every paycheck. This fund has grown. It's pretty big, so that's why we're trying to give away $25,000. So, yeah, just go on amadorcommunityfoundation.org to fill that out.
Cool. Right on. And any other events you got coming up?
So we're the beneficiaries of the Barbera Festival.
Yeah.
And we're doing a charity cornhole tournament for that. So we get all the proceeds from the cornhole tournament. So sign up for the Barbera Festival. It's Saturday, September 9th. And then you get an extra spot for the cornhole tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be backyard cornhole. There's not going to be any professionals there or anything like that. There's going to be pretty awesome prizes.
Know. I mean, the professionals might come out.
You never know. They sneak around.
Professional cornholers do like Barbera.
Yeah, sure. But we're going to be giving away a bunch of really good prizes for that event to the winners, and yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So that's the main two things that are going on.
Cool. Right on, John. Thank you. Anything else coming down the pipe?
Oh, that's it for now.
Right on.
Yeah.
on. You've been keeping up with the 49ers training camp?
I have. Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think about the quarterback room right now? We got 4 in the quarterback room.
I have this group text messaging chat just going crazy this morning about it actually, but I mean, I think Brock Purdy is definitely the guy, and I'm pretty sold on him, and I think that Lance and Darnold are going to be good to have around just in case anything happens.
Yeah, I think Darnold's is going to be a little bit better of a system quarterback for us, especially if he listens to Kyle Shanahan and just lets it kind of roll. That's just I think it's going to be
it'll be nice to see Lance do something this preseason though. I mean, he was the number 3 pick. He's got all this potential, so it'd be great to see him show some of that.
Have something, right?
Find that'd be nice. But as long as we have Purdy, and he seems to be good, he seems to be fine.
Yeah.
Which we were worried he was going to miss a chunk of the season.
I mean, well, especially with that kind of an injury. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
No, yeah, we're in good shape. I'm excited about it. I can't wait for football the start. The Hall of Fame game did not do it for me last night.
No, was not enough.
No,
was
yeah,
not enough.
yeah.
Right on. Well, John, always a pleasure to see you, my man.
Thanks, Joey.
All right, brother. Great to see you.
you.
Alrighty, we'll be back with our next guest, live from Shauna Sweets, right after this.
Hi, this is John Williamson, the Executive Director for the Amador Community Foundation. For those of you who don't know, the Amador Community Foundation does a variety of things to help the community. Through our generous donors, we were able to give away over $190,000 in scholarships last year. We also helped raise over $470,000 during our annual Giving Tuesday event for local nonprofits. We have a disaster relief fund which has given out almost $500,000 during local disasters, and to date we have granted over $8 million to Amador County. We do this by connecting local needs to local generosity. For more information or to support the Amador Community Foundation, give us a call at 223-2148 or visit our website, amadorcommunityfoundation.org.
Rick Springfield's I Want My 80s Tour. Starring Rick Springfield, The Hooters, John Waite, and Tommy Two-Tone. Saturday, September 16th at Ironstone Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Richter Entertainment Group. I Want My 80s Tour. Brought to you by Beach Bar Rum.
Hi, Rich Hoffman, and it's time once again for the Top Cop Challenge Veteran and First Responder Support Benefit. Please join us as we honor all who have and are serving in the U.S. Navy. That's this year's 11th annual Top Cop Challenge, Saturday, August 26th at 4:30 p.m. at Pokerville Hall inside the Amador County Fairgrounds. The evening will start with a no-host bar followed by dinner catered by Motherlode Deli. There will be a raffle and an auction and live entertainment. The cost is $60 per person with table packages available. To purchase your ticket, simply go online to Top Cop Challenge, the number 4vets.org. You can also go to Foothill Firearm Supply, call 223-0000. All proceeds for this wonderful event go to our U.S. veterans and first responders and community.
And we are live from Shauna Sweets Lunchtime Live for KVGC. I am sitting down with the woman herself, Shauna of Shauna Sweets. Shauna, how are we doing?
Morning or afternoon now?
Afternoon now, yeah.
I'm
Almost
good.
1 o'clock.
I know, right? How are you?
I'm doing well,
Good.
Thank you for having us here. What a spot, huh?
Yeah, this location just kind of fell into my lap while I was looking for somewhere to open, and it has been fantastic.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So here at Shauna Sweets, 1 year, 1 year here for Shauna Sweets. Can you tell us a little bit more about the business?
Absolutely. So we are just a small bakery and coffee shop. We do have a drive-through. We have a full espresso menu. Everything that I do in-house, I do individual size. So we've got muffins and scones and cupcakes and mini cheesecakes, everything like that. All of the muffins and scones and cookies and things like that get baked here every morning. I come in early and I get them done every day. And then I do full-sized cakes for events, birthday cakes or anniversary cakes, whatever the event might be. I do full-size cakes, cheesecakes, pies. Pretty much I tell everybody, whatever you want, just let me know and I will figure it out. If I don't know how to make it, I'll figure out how to make it. And if it's terrible, bring it back or let me know,
Yeah.
But I will try anything.
For sure, for sure. So you're conveniently located right here, French Bar Road.
Right.
Correct? That is the address?
Yes,
is French
it's
Bar.
250 French Bar Road.
Alrighty, and you do all of the sweets, but also you've got coffee and whatnot
We do.
as well.
Yeah, so we do all of the sweets here in-house. I'm the only baker, so I make everything that we have here. And then we have a full espresso menu. And we've got I make homemade lemonades. We've got lemonade, iced tea, things like that. We also have energy drinks and energy infusion drinks. We have cold brew. We have nitro cold brew. So we've got pretty much a full coffee menu, and we use a local coffee roaster called Crit Coffee out of McCallmy Hill.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, thank you for giving us a little
Absolutely.
overview there. Now, I can give him the intro, but do you want to intro Dave for us?
Sitting to my right is my big brother, Dave.
That's
who's
right.
Wearing way too many schools on him right now.
The Argonaut hat, the Amador shirt.
It's a clever scheme to sell books.
There you go. You got the Ione socks on too.
Yes.
Right on. So
Yeah.
we're here to not only celebrate 1 year of Shauna Sweets, but also for the book signing and the introduction, the full introduction
the release
of the big game 101 seasons of high school football in Amador County.
That's right.
So, Dave, could you tell us a little bit more about the book?
So the book basically covers every single game that's been played in this county by first Ione, Jackson, Sutter Creek, Amador, and Argonaut. So it's 2,188 games, starting in October of 1922, going up through last year.
Okay.
And I have a score for every game but one.
Okay.
Yeah, couldn't find it. It was Jackson Stag back in the 60s, I think.
Okay.
But other than that, I have everything I could think of in there. Coaches records, games, game stats, season stats that I could find on pictures, a little bit of everything. Then a whole bunch of stats in the back.
Right on. So while you were baking up all the goodies, he was baking up all the statistics.
That's right.
Absolutely,
in this,
yeah.
Yeah. We never crossed.
Never crossed? No.
Not once.
There weren't any cross paths between what he was doing and what I was doing.
There you go.
I would eat a cupcake here and there.
Oh yeah.
But
oh yeah.
that
Well,
was it.
that's some good support.
She
Although
wasn't
he
allowed
did
to help.
frost cupcakes last night.
Oh,
I
there
did.
you go.
Yeah.
Like 96 of them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so.
Well, right on.
Yeah.
So, why the big game? Why study the 101 seasons? I mean, as an Amador County football fan, former player, current coach, you know, my dad, my grandpa, my
Your
brothers.
dad's in it. Have you seen your dad in there?
I have actually. We've gone through my
He looks
mom.
like a 38-year-old man in that picture. I'm like, that's
the
his-
mustache.
Yeah.
Nasty, man. Oh yeah, we've got that one.
I'm like, was he 42 when he graduated from my own?
It's so funny because I've gotten to see some of his yearbooks. So he started his freshman and sophomore year were at Calaveras, and then he got to Ione his junior year. And there's a few pictures that I've seen of him in the yearbooks. We actually just went to the reunion this last Ione homecoming, and they were showing me some pictures of him, and he had the mustache.
He did.
All the way through.
Have you seen it?
Big old afro with the big old thick mustache. It's hilarious.
He does not look like he's in high school, but
no.
And he was one of the first pictures I found.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember.
73. Oh, there he is, right there.
Oh, that's a good-looking guy right there.
Yeah.
What a goof, right?
1973.
That's funny. Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
does look more like a teacher,
right?
Though, rather than a student.
Yeah, he's not.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, there's always the funny story. He may or may not have had to drive the bus once or twice, right?
Yeah.
It was Ione, you know. It was Ione High.
That's possible.
Well, the team picture's got this nice Volkswagen in the background. You know, it's Ione. But to answer your question, I don't know. I don't really because I didn't start off to write a book.
Sure.
This was just, you know, I'm a combination history nerd / sports nerd. I'm a history teacher. I love doing research, and I just started researching it one day for no reason. I don't know why. And it just kind of grew slowly. And at some point, someone said, you should write a book. And 5 years later.
5 years of hearing about this book at every family gathering we've had for 5 years. I'm glad the book has been written and published. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 5 years of compilation of compiling all of this.
Yeah.
And where did you find all the information for
Everywhere
this? I mean,
I
had
could go.
to be anywhere.
Archive stuff. I've spent. I can't tell you how many hours I spent in the Amador County Library going through yearbooks. You know, they have most of them. I had to go to both schools on more than one occasion and get permission to go in the office and sift through their yearbooks. And honestly, once I started writing it and people started to find out about it, I would get information from people. I had people sending me pictures, people telling me stories. This guy right here, Carl Olson, I just came across him. I don't even remember how or why. I think Facebook. And he and I were messaging, and he was sending me some great stories about the rivalry back in the early 70s. His brother went to Jackson, he went to Amador, and they played against each other.
Oh, wow.
You know, and so it kind of just was a little bit of everything. I looked for information wherever I could find it, you know, and that was kind of the hard part too, because I wanted to have it be complete, and I'm still irritated that I don't have that one score.
Yeah.
That's not how my brain works. It's like I have 2,187 scores, and the one that bugs me is the one that I don't.
Is the one you don't have.
Maybe I need to go down to Stag and look through their stuff. Maybe they have it, but
yeah.
Yeah, it was about 3 years of research, and that's all the stuff in the back, and then about 2 years to type it all out. And I didn't work on it every day.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
I would go through lulls where the last thing I wanted to do was write the book.
Right.
You know,
right.
And then it finally came, I think, probably April, May of this year, I kind of was like, okay, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And I already hooked up with Kevin and Barnett Publishing, and they had never printed a book before, so he was like, I'll do it. So he's been huge in printing it for me, and so it all just kind of came together. Getting the word out, yeah. I think rightfully so. He's proud of it because it's his first book.
Sure.
You know, as a publisher, so it's kind of a thing for him too. Mm-hmm. And he played.
Right.
All of his brothers played.
Right.
The field at Argonaut's named after his dad, so
right.
you know he's got a stake in it too. So it's been a fun process. You know, I Dennis Larson and Lauren Lukens are here.
Yeah.
You know, and growing up, they were bad guys.
Yeah.
You know, they were bad guys growing up here in Jackson. And I started messaging with Lauren. It's funny. I sent Lauren just on a whim. It was last summer. Just on a whim, I sent him a Facebook message, and I thought, we'll see. Mm-hmm. I think he responded in about 38 seconds. And he was like, let's meet up. And so a couple days later, I came up here, and then a message got out to Brian Carpenter, who was a stud back in the 70s for Amador.
My mom's, actually, I think my mom's class, 78,
78, yeah.
70, 79, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
He was a 3-year all league and just crazy good wide receiver. So he came, we met at Mel's, and Bart took our picture. And,
cool.
You know, and they're not bad guys anymore. I'm like, hey, they're actually nice guys, even though they work at Amador.
See, it's always so funny for me because I've got that split of my dad went to Ione, my mom went to Amador, but I went to Argonaut. So it's like, and that's what's kind of cool too, is so around Brian's class, my Uncle Marty went to Amador as well. So it's cool because all the families that are here in the county that have been in the county for a long time, I get to see my grandpa, I get to see my uncle, my dad, my brothers, you know, all throughout, and that's what's so cool about this book, you know, just from the, not only do I get to see my own stuff, but like I get to see my whole family, man. You know, it's a whole family.
There's so many generations of, you know, and I would run across, not knowing everything, I would run across like the name Littlefield. Mm-hmm. You know, I know Carl Littlefield was one of Sutter Creek High's, I think he might have been their first NFL player, played back in the late 30s, early 40s. But I would see the name Littlefield at Amador throughout, and assuming that there's a relation there, whether it's son or grandson or I'm not 100% sure, but so many names cross over. I have 2 friends from when I was in school who went to Argonaut. One I played for, Jared Lyman. He was on my left all those years on the offensive line, and his son went to Amador and was a stud. You know, and it's just kind of weird that there's just so much crossover. Right. You know, and so we got the different covers for the different people, but he and his wife came probably a month ago, and it was like, well, what book do we get?
Sure.
You know, dad went to Argonaut, son went to Amador, or kids went to Amador.
Right.
You know, and that's happened a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we have the Ione books. We've sold like 4.
Sure.
You know, but
not too many of those Ione guys left.
No, you figure their last season was 81.
Right. Right.
You know, so there's been a few, but so far it's gotten a really good reception. I've mailed about 15 all over the country, Montana, Florida, Texas, you know, Arkansas.
Well, and I do see, if you need to head out, you're good to go, Shauna. Okay. No worries. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, you should
I do
head out.
see a
Thank
few
you.
of... Thanks, brother.
Yeah, always a big brother.
Now, I do see that you have a couple of your old teammates here, and even former coach here as well. Do you want to bring Coach Davis on? Talk to him a little bit.
Yes, I do.
Hey, Coach. Coach Davis.
I'll get him.
All righty, currently getting Coach Keith Davis here. Yeah, he's
Lauren Lukens, I see Lauren's here.
Yeah. It's so funny, you know, when you yell coach, it's such
He's still coach.
Yeah.
He's told me 100 times. I mean, I graduated in 1993, and he's told me 100 times, you can call me Keith. Yeah. And I'm like, but I can't.
Oh, no, I know.
want to.
It's crazy,
but I can't.
right?
You're coach.
And that's what's been such an interesting. What's up, Coach? That's what's been such an interesting opportunity for me. You know, I played for him. You know, he was my junior year, our special teams coach. Junior and senior year, he was our special teams coach. And then when I graduated, went off to school, moved to Tennessee, came back, started coaching over at Argonaut, and he was on my staff. So, and even still then, I don't know have I ever called you Keith, or has it always been? I think I've always only ever called you Coach.
Coach.
I've called him Keith a couple times.
Almost always Coach.
Well, if you think about it,
it's just
everyone
one of
that's
those
played
things,
football at Jackson or Argonaut since 1980 probably knows who he is.
Oh yeah,
guaranteed. And students too. But since you've retired, you've still been coaching.
Yeah.
Still a part of the program. So
41 seasons.
Right.
I got to be there for the
41
41st
seasons.
and
that was
final.
fun.
We say final.
Well, it is. My wife and I had a
Maybe.
long talk. Actually, she talked, I listened.
Yeah.
She's done. Therefore, I'm done.
Right.
For the right
There you
reason,
go.
of course.
Well, so the big game. You've gotten a chance to go through the book a little bit, of course. Your name is riddled all throughout it, right?
Well, I've looked at it more than once. I haven't gone through every page.
he wrote one of the him and Lauren both wrote the foreword.
Okay.
At the beginning, so.
It's this young man here, Mr. Stevens, has put a lot of time in research and writing and stuff. And I will tell you, one of the things I like is, and it's not football itself, he tells what's going on in the country at that time period. So you have a reference in knowing what's happening locally and country-wise. And that's normally not in books that deal with football. So it kind of brings it together, kind of shows that we're all community, Amador County community. Here's your teams, here's what we're dealing with on the outside, but yet we all play football. And the big game is the one that really counts.
Yeah.
And Dave, you did a great job in your research. I really like all the stats and everything you got in there, all the different pictures. It's amazing the time that you put into it. And I'm sure it's being well received by everybody.
It has been. I give you credit. You were my history teacher. You're the one that, you literally are the one that gave me the love of history and made me want to be a teacher. And as far as coaches go, I've probably told 1,000 people over the years, you were hands down best coach I ever had in any sport at any level of my life. You were just so intense and so just inspirational. I never wanted to let you down. I never wanted to let you down. That was my biggest thing. I was like, oh, I let coach down, like whatever it would be, even in class. So thank you, because you were a big part of it.
Do you have your favorite Coach Davis story? Safe for radio, Coach Davis story?
I think my favorite story overall, actually, two of them happened in the classroom, and as opposed to on the field. But he had a podium, in front of his classroom, and there's pictures on it and whatever. It was kind of a mess, but he slammed his hand down on it or something, or kicked it, or I forget, and it just crumpled to the floor. I think it was held together with wrestling mat tape as it was.
It was.
Yeah. And the thing just kind of crumpled and fell to the floor. And you just kind of sat there and looked at it for a minute, and you just kept going. And then another one that I always liked was in your class. I remember I was writing or reading, or I was looking down, and Jason Fisher sat in front of me. He had fallen asleep. And you were lecturing, and he was walking up and down the rows, just normal, and he grabbed a textbook. No one noticed it. No one thought anything of it. And he got to Jason's desk, and he slammed that book down on that desk as hard as you could slam a book, and Jason shot 4 feet in the air. It scared me, too, because I was behind him. And I will let you know that I still use that tactic in my classroom today. So thank you. But I have a podium, and I haven't broken it yet. So I just remember on the field, just his intensity.
Yeah.
Every single day, every minute of every single day. We had some great coaches, whether it was Ray Johnson, Gary Traverso. We were lucky to have some great coaches, but I don't think, and I think Ray and Gary would probably agree with me. They couldn't match his intensity. They were wonderful coaches. I loved them both, but I remember your stupid story about the guy who climbed up the mountain. And we had to do the cross back and forth.
Oh, the John Muir Trail.
Okay.
True story.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. John Muir.
That's not the Uncle John's, is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Uncle John's.
Oh,
Yes,
the
yes.
John's.
Uncle John's.
Oh.
Yeah. John Muir. Switchbacks. Those are switchbacks.
Well, we never.
But they're on the football field.
Yeah.
So they're flat.
Those sucked.
But up in the mountains, they're switchbacks as you're going uphill or downhill. True story.
Well, we hated those things.
Coach K still pulls those out to this
Those
day.
were awful.
I got back from I got back from Florida, and it was my first practice back, and one of my assistants was like, "Well, Coach Geedy just got back, and you know who he saw at the airport? Uncle John.
Uncle John.
All righty.
All you had to say was Uncle John. It was just like, oh, really?
Oh yeah.
One way to get you in shape.
I know.
My favorite, Coach Davis story was my junior year on our kickoff team. It was even, kickoff and even kick return too. We would go through, and it was our very first game, and we didn't really have a break for, when we'd go, we'd go in and just go forward for our kickoff. But he told us a story, pulled us all in right before the first opening kickoff, and he tells us this story. There was an ancient society that used to bring they would bring in their prisoners, and they'd feed them only fish heads. And that's what we're going to do to these guys. And he had this whole long, I don't remember exactly what it was, but he says, that's what we're going to do to them. Fish heads on 3. 1, 2, 3. And so our call out was fish heads from there on out. And talk about the intimidation factor. They were kind of across the way. Everybody, fish heads? What are they talking about? That's what we're going to feed the enemy, fish heads.
I did use that a few times.
That one's a good one. That one's always one.
Unfortunately, I think my best stories that you'd probably be looking for came from Phil Murray.
Oh, yeah?
And he's not here, obviously, but, yeah, there's some good stories.
Oh, yeah.
Between, that group of you and Traverso and Murray, that was a unique group, I guess, but unique in a really good way.
Yeah,
for sure.
They were just all so dedicated. We never had the biggest teams, and but we kicked. I remember. I think it was my senior year at Somerville, and we lost. I think we went for 2 for the win, and we lost. But I remember you guys telling us that we put like 4 of their guys in the hospital for one reason or another. We didn't always win, but we beat people up. I know that.
Sure.
I was talking to Jay Promisco. I don't know if you know that name. He was the 93 league MVP, went to Amador, and I talked to him on the phone a couple months ago. He's got a little part in the beginning of the book, and he said Damon Wyckoff.
Oh yeah.
Meanest, and I knew Damon since kindergarten, and Damon was the nicest soul in the world. But he's right here. He put those pads on, and he flipped that switch.
Man, different guy.
And Jay said, I always tell people I was just so thankful he was always on my team.
Yeah.
And Jay said during the big game, our senior year, Damon just crushed him. And then Damon reached down, physically picked his entire body up off the ground and said, sorry, man. 'Cause that's the kind of guy Damon was. He'd kill you, then he'd apologize for it.
Right.
He should be here later, actually.
For sure.
Well, when you talk about Jackson High School, I came up in 80, we unified in 83. But we always took a lot of pride, and we were usually the very smallest enrollment of anybody we played. So we wanted to be in better shape. We wanted to be able to hit harder, and we didn't have the substitutions most people had. And a lot of times, we had to hide our weaknesses, and we knew because everybody will find them, but we try to hide them and so forth. But kids played hard, and that's all you can ever ask for. And we try to keep the games. We try to win them, but if we're not going to win them, then by God, we're going to beat the crap out of our opponents.
Yeah.
And then we try to have the same attitude when we went, unified as Argonaut. Again, we were one of the smallest teams around. But you got to be passionate about what you do. You got to love your kids, but you got to be really firm, and you got to stick to it. And to me, that's the key of everything.
For sure.
Anyway. But nice job, buddy.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed coaching with you there, Mr. Geedy.
Thank you, Coach.
It was fun.
I appreciate
It was
that.
fun.
I appreciate that. All the ups, all the downs. You know what? We had a great season. It was a lot of fun.
We did.
So,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's all about the kids.
Exactly. And on that note, let's go ahead and pay some bills real quick. We'll be back with Coach Lukens.
Yes.
Right after this.
When you or a loved one can no longer live on their own, there's a lot of decisions to make, and you probably have a long list of questions. Assist Care Communities of Amador County can accommodate you or your loved one's needs. They've been providing exceptional care for seniors in Amador County for well over 30 years. Assist Care Senior Communities' philosophy of quality care and individualized treatment extends to all residents, including those needing end-of-life care. Experience living a full, worry-free life filled with fun, friends, and just the right amount of care. Find out more today by calling 209-257-1377 or visit assistcare.com. Assist Care Senior Communities of Amador County. Your lifestyle, your choice.
Amador County's new place to print, Gold Web Printing. From event posters and flyers, business envelopes and letterheads, to full-color postcards and brochures. Let us design and print what your business needs. With a full graphic design staff, we can design and develop the information your business needs to succeed. Call us today at 209-223-0508.
Well, we seem to have lost our feed to Shauna Sweets. Joey, you with us? All right, we'll try for another commercial, and then we'll go to Joey. If he's not with us, we'll wrap it up.
The biannual blowout is just a week away, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Keenan's Rug Emporium is rolling out a Labor Day bonanza.
We have that flatweed shipment coming in.
He needs 10 new sales associates as the crowds loom large.
Someone run a stock check on all the Moroccan 8x10s?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. New Pepto Kids gummies helps relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for new Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
And we're back live from Shauna Sweets Lunchtime Live for KVGC. We're back here. Dave is still here, and we are here with Coach Lauren Lukens. Coach, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. So you were saying just before we hopped on there, this was because he was wearing blue.
Well,
this was
so
the bad guy, right? But he's not a bad guy.
No, growing up in Jackson, I never met Lauren, and I don't mean that literally. He was blue. He was Amador.
Right.
Whether it was you or anybody, right? And I'm sure it was vice versa.
Oh yeah.
And I sent Lauren a Facebook message last summer. Like I said, I was hoping that he would respond, and I think he responded in about 45 seconds. And then we came up here to Mel's, and Brian Carpenter came, and been off and on chit-chatting. He gave me a lot of information. He wrote a forward for me. So he really is one of the outstanding coaches. I mean, Amador, okay, I'm going to step out my comfort zone. Amador has had some amazing coaches over the years, whether it was Del Poe, back in the day, Jim Davis, but Lauren is definitely up there when you look at ML titles and just winning record and percentage. In the echelon of Amador coaches, he's in the top for sure. So, yeah.
For sure. So, I see 1975 MLL Coach of the Year. How many more of those did you get?
I think I had 3 more.
3 more? Right on. And how long did you coach for over at Amador?
Oh, where did I coach? From 73 on, I think, to 86.
Okay.
I can tell you.
Some health issues.
Just got to find it.
Sure.
You want some stats?
Yes.
Okay, let's
go
do some
for
stats. Coach Lukens, 8 seasons total as head coach, 43 wins, 30 losses, and I think you had 4 or 5 titles.
5?
5? Yeah, that sounds right.
For
yeah.
sure.
So I think when it comes to Amador coaches and total titles won, he's tied with, I believe, Del Poe from back in like the 30s.
Gotcha.
So pretty good company.
Very.
Yeah.
So you would have coached my Uncle Marty then. Marty Ferdani is my uncle, so.
Did I ever? Ferdani, I yelled that name many a time.
I imagine so.
I see him all the time. I love him.
Yeah. Well, right on.
He's
so
a good defensive back.
He was. So what position did he play? I've always heard a lot about him. He was fast. I mean, that's kind of so.
Running back.
I hear I get my speed from both sides. You know,
Okay.
my uncle was fast and my dad was pretty fast, but
Well, your
that's
grandfather's son.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and he
Yeah,
played
got a
in
long
the
line.
40s too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Marty was fun. That was a good year. There was some good kids.
So you would have coached against his dad.
Yeah.
Right?
What was that like coaching against Jim Geedy? I mean, Ione High School
Ione
was,
in
you
general.
know, rumbling Ione, but
You know, it's just a football game. So I
for
mean,
sure.
all those were tough games.
For sure.
Anytime. Don't ever take anything for granted.
Definitely.
Yeah, do that and you get beat.
I remember you told me when we were at Mel's that they always had a couple studs.
Oh, it
You
is.
know?
I remember going down to Ione once. We were undefeated in the league. Last game, all we got to do is beat Ione. They hadn't won a game.
Mm-hmm.
We almost got beat. I saw it coming before the game. I knew.
Yeah.
Just we're playing on Saturday. The kids didn't like that. Had this psychological. We played all night games.
Right.
Here we are Saturday, and all of a sudden halftime we were behind. We came back and won. The only good thing about it, we're being scouted.
There you
the
go.
Playoffs, so they didn't get, I'm sure they left at halftime. That's going to be a piece of cake. But it wasn't. It was a rough time.
I just got a text from my dad. He said, "Yep, all 9 of us down over at Ione. All 9 of us."
Yeah, there was.
So.
They never had very many ball players. It was sad. They had some good ones.
Oh yeah.
I'd go back and watch the game films and go, God, those kids that move up there. Our area, we could win the CIF championship.
Right.
All I need is about 4 of them.
That's what you told me, Mel. You
Yeah.
need about 4 of them. Well,
Yeah.
your dad's team was pretty big. Let's see, they had one. 16.
16.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big team for Ione.
That's that's not too bad of a size.
No.
My senior year at Argonaut, I want to say we were about 22, 23.
That's what we
There were
used to
some
wear.
years that we were pretty low there, that we got pretty low, but now I think our varsity right now is sitting around 33, 34, and same with Amador's. Amador's varsity is pretty big this year. They've got a whole bunch this year. Do you still stay in contact kind of with the school, staying in with the coaching staff at all, or?
Well, Baker was my best friend. I mean, he played ball for me.
Billy?
So I had Billy, yeah. So then Cantac played for me too.
Sure.
I wasn't a head coach then.
Mhm.
I was assistant coach, but I know him. That's just about it.
Yeah.
So with once Baker left, I'm not quite as close as I used to be.
Sure.
But we go to the games. Well, my daughter's a counselor at Amador. So,
Oh, okay.
So she keeps me abreast of everything that was going on.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, so question for you now. So you talked about watching some of the game film. The game obviously has evolved, and the way that we watch our film and disseminate the film now is very different to how it was, back in the day. Now I've got Huddle that I go on there and I can click the play and I can mark it ODK. I can do all the different stuff. So how different was it with film study and with just general coaching in those years?
I was just talking to Keith about that. We didn't have Huddle. That would have been a godsend.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'd spend all day weekends. After the game, I'd drive the film to Stockton. After the game, and in the morning I got up and drove to Stockton and get it. Then I bring it back and I watch it myself. And then I have a coaches meeting on Saturday and Sunday, and we're breaking it down and going through each individual. And now it's all done for you. I mean, you can just part it and give it to the line coach, give it to the defensive, offensive coordinator. I mean, it is a big difference in that part. There's no doubt about it. That would have been nice.
Yeah, to break it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's easy too, because now trading film with other schools is so easy.
Oh, okay. Well, you left that out. Then sometime during the week, I'm going to have to go meet the coach we're playing next week, and we're going to trade films.
Yeah.
And not films are always good. A lot of coaches are playing games and things
Sure.
like that. They'll give you a crappy film, is the word, but he didn't come out very well or something like that. So
give you the grainy film.
But I had people out scouting there. I always had scouts, so there was nobody we're playing that I hadn't already had some people there watching them and picking up in material on. So
Yeah.
so that part probably the same. I assume they still scout.
Somewhat.
I mean, seeing it in person is way better than a film.
Yeah.
You can see things that you normally. Sometimes as a game film, you never really look as good as you think you are.
Sure.
The best game we've ever had, and you go back and look at it, and I don't think so. Well, when you're looking at their film, you could get that same impression. But when you watch them in person, a little bit different. So prepare yourself. That was the main important thing. If you're not prepared.
We had it much better than that. We would have the games recorded on VHS.
There you go.
And then we'd go up to Keith's room on like Monday, and we'd watch the game.
Yeah.
On the VCR.
Yeah. Just pop it in and
Pop
you got
it
it
in
right
and
there on
go.
the projector,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, we got there.
Yeah, you got there.
We all had to do with economics.
Right.
And money.
Sure.
You know, and they're always cutting you back, and the budget was getting less and less. So, I mean, we went from when I got there, we used 16 millimeter.
Okay.
And then Super 8 came in. And then sometimes Super 8, you got to get a good filmer too. You know, so you have to get a good filmer. Sometimes they come back and go get your film and you paid for it and it's all blank or it's all messed up. I mean, that did happen. There were some times that happened.
Now, what was your favorite year or set of years of coaching?
That's a good question. I don't know if I had any favorite year. Probably my second year, just because we didn't have much and the kids had such a good attitude and we ended up winning the league. That was a special moment. I don't think it was my best football team, but so they were all different. I've always enjoyed coaching, period. I don't care what it is, working with kids. That was the main thing. You know, of course, everybody wants to win. There's no doubt about it. I understand that. Don't like losing. They want to lose. Of course, I played Jackson. I didn't play Argonaut. I only played Argonaut when I was assistant coach. So,
gotcha.
At least as a football coach.
For sure.
Well, you would have coached against Keith in the last.
I did.
The last
I did.
big game, Jackson.
I did. We had a close one over there.
82,
Yeah.
81.
Yeah, that's when they had Vance Miller.
Vance Miller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had a chance to coach with Vance too. Yeah.
Stopped him 4 times in the end zone. Any one of those would have cost us the game. It was over.
Yeah.
It was amazing. With Les Fordyce, we had him. He was a great linebacker. And I always said to this day, if they'd have given that ball to anybody but him, he probably would have scored. I mean,
yeah.
You know, even when I told him, I remember we called timeout and there was one play left, and I said, "We're not going to give it to Vance." You know,
Yeah.
I told the kids because I know that's what we're doing. I don't care what you tell them, and they did.
Yeah.
But they didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
Normally I'd have killed him. You know. Yeah, if they get. I told you so. I mean, I could say that many times. We told you so. I've gone out at right towards the end of the game, and you tell somebody what they're going to do the next play. I know exactly what they're going to do.
And then
well, you tell them, and then they do it. And I won't tell you what I said. But I'm sure Keith would have said the same thing.
For sure.
We both had the same story. So.
Yeah. Right on. Well, hey, it was great talking with you, Coach.
Yeah,
Great to see you again.
nice meeting you and knowing who
Absolutely.
you're a tradition in
Yeah.
football, your family. So
For sure.
Absolutely.
Well, and so the big game, 101 years of high school football in Amador County. If you want to get this, Dave, what's the best way to get this book?
Best way, I need to do a website. I don't have one yet. I have an email for it. The email is thebiggame101years@gmail.com.
The big game, 101 years @gmail.com.
Yes, or Facebook, David Stevens, or come here to Shauna Sweets because she has them for sale here. That's probably, for the people in the county, that's probably the easiest thing to do.
Right.
Come in and get a muffin, get a coffee, grab a book, and you're good. But if you're outside the county or just don't have the means to get over here, just shoot me an email or a Facebook message, and I can either ship it to you. Like I said, I've shipped them all over the country. I've shipped a couple up here, but we'll get you one.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Perfect. Alrighty, and I'll be back with our final guest to wrap it up here, Lunchtime Live at Shauna Sweets, right after this.
Did you?
Hometown radio for Amador and Calaveras counties is KVGC Jackson, San Andreas, Sutter Creek, the voice of the Gold Country.
This week, your local grocery outlet has amazing summer deals that you don't want to miss. Pick up a family pack of fresh, boneless and skinless chicken breast fillets for only $1.99 a pound. That's a savings of up to 67% versus traditional grocery stores. Also, stock up on Prego pasta sauce this week. 45-ounce varieties are buy 2, get 1 free. That's just $2.66 each when you get 3. Offers only good through August 8th, so enjoy these savings while you can.
Grocery outlet, bargain market.
Amador Transit is pleased to announce the expansion of our dial ride service into the cities of Ione and Plymouth. Beginning August 14th, those residents that are in need of a little extra care in traveling around the county can rest assured Amador Transit will have you covered. doctor visits, grocery shopping, pharmacy pickups, or just visiting friends, wherever you need to be, we're here to help. Please call 209-267-9395 or visit AmadorTransit.com to apply for the expanded Dial-A-Ride program now in Ione and Plymouth. Again, Amador Transit Dial-A-Ride is available now in Plymouth and Ione. Amador Transit, we'll get you there.
Alrighty, and we are live from Shauna Sweets, Lunchtime Live for KVGC. We are back with Shauna. Shauna, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Right on.
Having
and
fun.
who do we have here with us as well?
This is my daughter, Madison.
Hi.
There you go. Madison, you're on live too. Live from Shauna Sweets for Lunchtime Live for KVGC.
Madison was my only barista for the first year up until about 2 months ago. She was the one who did all the coffee and helped me with all the prep. So she's one of the main reasons that we survived a year.
Well,
she
we
was,
go.
Free labor.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So again, 1 year anniversary here at Shauna Sweets.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about it before, but you've got cakes and scones and muffins and all kinds of goodies here, right?
Pretty much any baked good you can think of. I think two of our most popular items here are the scones and the little mini cheesecakes. But for me, one of the main things that is where I get joy from is decorating cakes. So creating a cake, getting to see the look on a kid's face when they get their birthday cake, and they get to see it. So decorating cakes and doing stuff like that is kind of where my heart lies.
Sure.
But it is fun to do. I get to bake every day. I get to come in and make things and make people smile every day. So it's been a lot of fun as far as that's concerned.
So a year down. What
can you
tell us? What can you tell us in a year down? What can you tell us?
You know what? The last year has been a crazy ride. I don't think anybody's quite prepared for the number of hours that you're going to put in when you open a business like this.
Sure.
You're in at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're working till 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock at night, trying to get everything done. But in the end, when you see it all come together, it's worth it. It's just been a lot of fun. It's something that I never necessarily envisioned myself doing, 10 or 20 years ago. But when my kids both graduated from high school, I went, okay, now what do I want to do when I grow up?
Sure.
And we'd been living in Folsom, but I was born and raised here, so I thought, okay, I'll go home.
Yeah.
And so I came home, and then it was like, now what? There wasn't a bakery in town. I knew how to bake, and COVID had just hit.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a couple of years perfecting recipes and passing them out to anybody I could find that would eat them. And then this location kind of just opened up, and the casino happens to own it, and so the rent is reasonable, and I could afford it, and here we are.
Right on. And a fun feature about this is there's a drive-through.
There is a drive-through.
Well. So what are the hours of Shauna Sweets? And then I'll ask you a follow-up question of what are the hours for the drive-through?
Gotcha. So actually the hours are the same for both. The drive-through is open anytime I'm open. Okay. And starting, I'm taking next week off. I'm going to take a little bit of a break after having been open for a year.
You've been open for a year?
Exactly.
Take a break.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. And then when we come back, our hours are actually going to change from 6 to 3. We're going to be open 7 to 4, Monday through Friday. So right now we're currently closed on the weekends because I do special events. I have 2 weddings tomorrow, so weddings and birthday cakes and stuff like that. Special orders is what I do on the weekends. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm closed on the weekends. There's oftentimes cakes and pies and cupcakes just kind of spread all out through the bakery, and I need that time to be able to do those. So Monday through Friday, 7 to 4, starting I think it's the 14th.
Sure.
Then when we come back.
Not next Monday, but the
following
after.
Monday, yes.
Gotcha.
So that is a change in hours. I wanted to start staying open a little bit later in the afternoon because school's back in, and I've heard parents say that, I want to bring my kid after school, but you're closed.
Right.
So now we'll be open.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, right on. So of all of the sweets, what is your favorite, not only to bake, but what is your favorite to eat as well?
My favorite to bake and eat. My favorite as far as baking is concerned will always be the cakes, the special order cakes, the birthday cakes or the wedding cakes, things like that. My favorite to eat changes. It changes constantly because I'm constantly coming up with new recipes. It used to be the cheesecake. I love cheesecake. Right now, I'm not going to lie, it's the savory scones.
Okay.
At the moment, yeah, I like the bacon cheddar and jalapeno scone. Yeah, which just is a recipe that came out not too long ago.
Sure.
You know, on the savory side. Although I will admit, at the end of the day, if there's still a breakfast burrito sitting on that, it's hanging out, I take that home and I eat it for dinner. Those are darn good too. They have Swingles meat in them, so you can't go wrong.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And what's your favorite of the sweets?
Oh man,
All
that's
of them.
hard. Seriously, either the churro cheesecake bar,
Okay.
really good, or the lemon cheesecake.
Okay.
Always good option.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's I think what's so cool about having a bakery like this too. You get to experiment. You get to kind of have the fun with it, right? You know,
Exactly.
because the minute it turns into a job, then it's a job.
Then it's not fun anymore.
You know,
exactly.
but
And well,
you-
and that's one of the things that we're doing when we come back after having a week off is we're going to change up the flavors.
For sure.
The menu's going to change a little bit. I'm bringing back the strawberries and cream scone that people have missed. I'm going to change up a couple of the muffin flavors and cheesecake flavors. So it's fun because the flavors are constantly changing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And along with Swingles, you have another local, another local business that you do business with here for coffee as well,
Absolutely.
right? Local roaster.
Crick Coffee, it's Krick, is out of McCollum Hill. At this point, he only does roasting for for businesses. He doesn't do the little 1 pound bags anymore. But when I first opened, I was looking for somebody local, and I kind of passed. I don't drink coffee. Sure. That's one of the fun facts about me. I own a coffee shop. I don't drink coffee. So I passed it out to kind of everybody I could find that drank coffee, that were like coffee connoisseurs, so to speak. And just across the board, he came out that everybody loved his stuff. And now that people have gotten used to it, they come back specifically for the coffee, and then they grab a scone or they grab a muffin or they grab something along with it. But people really, really like the coffee, not just the espresso, but the house coffee as well.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's nice, and it's nice. I wanted to make sure I stayed local for the coffee. That was one of the main things that I focused on when I first opened. When somebody said, "Hey, you should do coffee," I didn't know anything about it, and so he didn't just bring coffee. He helped me along the way learn he taught her how to make all of the espresso drinks. Taught us how to use the machine. We didn't know what we were doing.
Sure.
So him and his family have been huge assets to us here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better location. Couldn't ask for a better little awning. I mean, it's nice and shady. It's got a good little breeze that goes through here.
Yeah.
I mean, what a good environment for this
Absolutely.
too. So
it's a lot of fun. When I first opened, my goal was to make it comfortable and homey, like you're at home, sitting in your living room or in your kitchen having a cup of coffee. And I've gotten a lot of comments that we achieved what we were going for as far as that's concerned, and the patio was just an added bonus.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, Shauna, 1 year down of Shauna Sweets, many more to go.
Well, thank you.
Anything to close out with?
Nope. I think at this point we're just excited. Come on down, give us a try. If you haven't given us a try, give us a shot, and if you like it, come back.
For sure. Well, thank you so much,
All right,
and thank you so much for having us again,
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Shauna. Alrighty, and I think that's going to wrap it up for us here, Lunchtime Live for KVGC from Shauna Sweets here in Jackson. I'm Joey Guidi, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and the rest of your day. Goodbye.
Puzzled about what volunteer opportunities are available now that you are retired? Wondering about keeping fit as you grow older? Or are you concerned about what options you have to helping your aging parents stay safe and comfortable in their own home? The Amador Senior Center can help you with these questions and more. The staff and volunteers believe that aging doesn't have to be a puzzle and are ready and able to help you find the appropriate local resources and solutions. Visit the Senior Center at 229 New York Ranch Road between 8:30 and 4, Monday through Friday.